I don't get an awful lot of whooping. It's nice. It's a very refreshing start. Thank you. Thank you for coming back as well. Well, some of you. I think because it's a bloody nice day out there, isn't it? I thought we might lose some of you to the woods and thought, bugger this, we'll go for a walk, you know. So how are you doing? So, no, but seriously, how are you doing? Like, so, you know, those of you in business, you know, all of you guys in your businesses, let's say there's two sides. So there's the, yeah, whatevs. There's the, yeah. How many people are in the sort of, yeah, we're okay, yeah, whatevs market? No? No, it's okay. Or is it that the others are at the holy fuck market? Oh, shit, sorry. But do you know what I mean? It's like, it's tricky out there, isn't it? You've got to admit it. So things are difficult for retail. Do you not think? Or are you just having a great time? Perfect. Well, I'm done then. My job here is done. So I'll put a little thing together for you for the next 3 hours. Your future is scary. Well, because it kind of is, isn't it? I mean, we're being told every day of new technologies and disruptions. You can't have a presentation without saying disruption. But it all goes back to, do you remember George Orwell in 1948? If I speak quietly, you listen harder. It's funny that. If 1948, he wrote 1984, because that's what he did. And he threatened that the governments would be watching us all the while. And it's kind of come true, except what he didn't say, because we've got this big data now. Everyone's everything is known about now. What he didn't say, what he didn't predict, is that we'd be feeding that machine voluntarily. We'd be uploading all our details, all our preferences, all the stuff we think, all our innermost little thoughts, all onto Facebook every day. And that all sits, all that information about every single one of you, who you are, where you live, obviously, how many holidays you have, where you go, what your cat's name is, what you feed it, how regularly, everything sits in a giant cloud above your head. That's kind of scary, isn't it? So it's come true. It's come true. How many, this we read about every day. How many of you guys are looking forward to the driverless car? I'm just interested because I've got my own views on it, but how many of you will sit in a vehicle? Great. You're going to sit in that vehicle and it's going to back out your drive like this, and then it's going hurtling along the motorway at 75 miles an hour with no one in the driving seat. Fine. That's what they're telling us. That's absolutely fine. Would you get on the most automated, autonomous thing there is at the moment in transport is the aeroplane. You get in one of the new 380s, Dreamliner, one of those, they don't have to do anything. How do you feel about getting on a plane with no pilot? Think about it, because that's the quickest one they could make totally autonomous. Just trying to scare you, that's all I'm trying to do. The future's here. Does anyone here understand Bitcoin? No, of course you don't. But anyway, well, I certainly don't. The future is all about delivering stuff to us, as we've been told. Drones will be doing it. So when we look out the back door in a few years' time, there'll be like a swarm of bees carrying toothpaste. It's true. You don't believe me? Face recognition. Well, this was brilliant because what John was talking about earlier. There are retailers now, big retailers, investing in face recognition software, the stuff that you do at the airport, and you have to stand there like an idiot and it still rejects you. It's still me, and you keep rejecting me. Anyway, there are retailers investing in that technology so that they can, when you walk into their store, you get scanned on the way in and they can quickly go, Bob, how nice to see you. It's true. I mean, how bad is that? And then robotics, we've all been told that all your jobs are going, by the way. You know about that. I mean, there are predictions out there, like 60% of all the jobs now will go to robotics and AI. And this was the hotel that opened in Nagasaki, obviously in Nagasaki, where else? With a totally robotic receptionist, which actually is not rare at all. Sorry. Well, they're weird, aren't they? Hotels are weird. We're in one, but the first thing is, hi. Can I have a credit card, please? Well, she does exactly the same, and she sort of wobbles her head a little bit, you know. So robotics are here, and we're going to have to get used to it. 3D printing, we haven't quite worked what it's for yet. We haven't quite worked out what it's for, But eventually, we'll just have one of them in the kitchen, and anything you want, you just press a button and it's there. You don't have to go out at all, ever. You can just stay in looking at Facebook, permanently just printing out jewellery in the kitchen. I mean, this is happening now, folks. And of course, right now, we've got the demise of the high street. I mean, it's pretty bad, isn't it? I don't have to mention who it is, whether it's BHS or Gap. You know, I don't mean pick on Gap, but it's sort of mid-market fashion. It sort of looks the same it has done for the last 30 years. We're just sort of bored with it. Sales are in nosedive, actually, that's what they are. And then the mighty Tesco's. I mean, it's brilliant, it's brilliant. Because I used to have to talk about how mighty they were, how powerful, how one in every £7 spent in the UK goes via Tesco's. And this is what it was, this mighty. And I used to work with them, and they were arrogant. You had to always come to them. And now they're all humbled because you found out about the horse meat, didn't you? And they're all humbled with closing stores. They're making stores smaller and closing some and concentrating on being nice again to us. So Tesco's has had an almighty boot in the whatevers. Last week, Macy's, one of the global iconic brands, department store brands, announced they're closing 100 stores. This is my picture. I drew that. I don't download all this stuff. That's what you got. You've got department stores in a huge decline. So when Macy's, an iconic institution like that, decides it's going to close 100 stores, you've got to really listen. What does this mean? And just over the road, you guys know FAO Schwarz. Do you remember FAO Schwarz? You probably read that it closed. But just think about that. This iconic toy store that you couldn't get into because of the numbers of customers at the damn entrance. There was a queue every day. It wasn't every day waiting for the damn thing to open. And then, so they had endless customers, but it wasn't enough. It's gone. It's finished. So times are tougher than they've ever been. And on top of that, if you do get a customer, she's going to come in and start scanning, working out that she can get it cheaper elsewhere. It's like a nightmare, isn't it? And the picture builds. So we've got this, as retailers, we've got lots of things to worry about. But just as humans, we've got a lot to worry about. Migration is one of the biggest things we face, and terrorism. Do you think it's going to... I have a futurometer. I'll probably use it a few times today. You just ask it questions. You just go, do you think, Mr. Futurometer, do you think it's going to get worse or better? It's very straightforward. Do you think terrorism is going to get worse or better? Obvious, isn't it? So I hate to cheer up your afternoon. And the climate change, obviously we're all going to be underwater in a matter of weeks. But the good news is every cloud has a silver lining. We won't remember any of it. So there is always the other side. Ultimately, though, everything we need, everything you're selling, everything out there, all the stuff on the planet, we can get it through Amazon. So there's no need to leave the house at all. Thank you very much. But it's not really the full picture, isn't it? And I'm here to sort of give you that picture. And I'll try and move quickly because I've got 1,032 slides here. No, but no charts, nothing like that. Don't worry, nothing. It's all nice. Markets are on the rise. Markets trebled. The number of gourmet farmers markets in the US trebled since 2008. eBay want to be, the online world wants to be offline. They want to come in, they want to see what's going on the high street, don't they? Warby Parker, where my glasses are from, you probably heard about it, making lots of money. A fantastically successful online-only brand that now have fantastic stores. They want stores, they want to come to the high street, they want to do stuff. And they're printing money in doing so. So the success stories are out there. So my question, I've done this sort of presentation, a series of questions really, some which I'll throw to you and some which I'll just try and answer myself. So the question is, what happened? Where is all this up? To talk about the future, you have to understand the past. So I think this is what happened, and you can test me on it, okay? So I think we were just shopping along and tottering along the high street, buying shit we don't need, with other people's money, credit, that's what we were doing. And suddenly, in 2008, it all crashed, didn't it? It was the GFC, as they call it in Australia, and we call it, whatever we call it, the global financial crisis. And I try and make it a little bit entertaining, a little bit, but I genuinely believe that you can draw a line at that point. Everything changes. And you'll see, in the future, we'll look back and see that this was a turning point for us and for retail specifically. And I'll explain why. So that's the apocalypse, and I refer to it as that. And what I believe happened, seriously, and I have to sit down for this, because then you'll watch and you take notice of me when I speak quietly. But I think, genuinely, you've got to imagine the post-apocalyptic environment. Okay, this is a metaphor I'm painting. So you've got the burnt-out city, the ashes and the smoke, plumes of smoke rising from sort of the ash of a city. And we sat around the fire, and there's Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise with a little smear of oil just on his face, looking good, but it's sort of still sexy in a sort of dishevelled way. And Will Smith, all that. So you're sort of sitting, we thought, no, we want to redo things. We want to do things differently now. We're sick of all this shit. I hate to swear so much. Well, I don't. I enjoy it. But all that shit, we just had 50 years of shit coming in, and we just want different things now. We want products with meaning and with heritage and with provenance. And we have new values. And I think we have a new customer. And that's who I'm going to talk about today. And that customer is us, okay? So we talk about the customer, some other it's us, and I believe we've all changed. So I want to introduce you to this customer. This customer is Pam, okay? And it's post-apocalypse man. It's post-apocalypse. This is my best impression. I'm absolutely serious about this. This is post-apocalypse man. Yes, it includes women. Yes, but it's mankind. We've changed. And where's our photographer? Look at him. It's Pam. It's full-on Pam. Paul, the photographer, is full-on Pam. Why are we doing this? Because it's not a joke, because we are literally rebuilding. We've watched you guys mess it all up. And we thought, no, there must be better ways of doing stuff. And I think it's changed our mindset. So let's just see how Pam we are. Just a little. I tried to turn it into. I knew I was doing this after lunch session, and there'd only be 3 people and a dog in the front row. So I thought, I'll do it as questions, and then you have to answer. And I know there's been a lot of questions today, but nevertheless. So this is one to the guys, really. Do you prefer a text to a phone call? Because I know I do. It's just like a bit weird when someone calls you. It's like, what? Has somebody died? I mean, it's kind of funny, isn't it? It's true. Do you sit in front of the TV but also watch something else at the same time and Google the age of the actor and all that stuff? Yes, well, that's all new. This is all new. Have you taken a selfie? Well, come on. Well, of course you have. Have you not? Is there anyone out there who has not taken a selfie? Good man, 7 points. We'll do one later, don't worry. Have you used a hashtag? I mean, this has all happened so recently, and we've all just slipped into it. We think we haven't changed, but we've changed dramatically. Do you know Tinder and Grindr? We've had that mentioned already once. Grindr, obviously, yeah. But I get that. But it's changed. The landscape for everything has changed, and we just accept it instantly. And what is this? It's not funny. This is just true, isn't it? So the idea, you could call it millennials, if you want. You want to use that word. We're all millennials now. I have written about that. We're all millennials. The idea, those damn millennials. They've got no attention spans, and it's terrible. They're glued to their phones. We're all the same. Come on. What's the first thing you reach for in the morning? Is it your wife, your husband? No, it's the bloody iPhone. You know it. Come on. Do you text when you're on the loo? I read all my news on the loo, I have to say. It's a very good place for it. In fact, I'm dying for a pee now, so it should be going very well, according to your theory. So, it's ever so easy. I try and make a serious point, which is that we've all changed, actually, and we can't blame it on the millennials. We've fundamentally changed, and that means it's changed our behaviour and our attitudes and our aspirations. So I ask a series of questions. I say, maybe this is to the guys again. Do you want to watch? Do you want to watch? Would you like a watch? Anyone? No, of course not. You just think I'm weird. You just say, what? No, I want the watch. I want to have read about the bloody thing for 6.5 weeks in doiwantawatch.com. I want to know everything before I have the watch. So there's a shift. I genuinely think, draw a line in the sand, and you can say, pre-2008, post-2008. We now want the, not a. Now that's easy when you talk about watches and jewellery and stuff, because it's kind of expensive. You're not going to just buy any old thing. Well, possibly. But you want the. And let's take another example. And I say, sorry, my explanation to that, it's products for heroes. It's like after the war. When we came out of the war, I wasn't around, okay, just to remind, I know I'm grey. But after the war, we didn't sort of think, oh, great, we can just eat basic foods. No, we wanted, nylons, and, well, I didn't. But you know what I mean? All that stuff. We wanted luxury products, proper lipsticks and all that. Well, I don't know why it's all women clothing. So that's how it was. We didn't go, oh, great, we can have, practical trousers again. No, we wanted luxury things. It's exactly the same. It's not really luxury. We want products for heroes. We want the, not a. And my explanation, a good example of this is coffee. I had a shit coffee here in this hotel, but hey, that's not. But, I would say, because obviously you go, yeah, well, obviously I'm going to want the watch. But do you know, when you get into sandwiches and coffee and you realise you want the coffee, don't you? I mean, there isn't anyone out there now who thinks, I don't care what sort of coffee I have as long as it's coffee. No, I'm perfectly happy with the instant they gave me in the room. Perfectly happy with that. It's 1975 after all. I mean, it's just, we can't. We want the, and we have our brand and we like it done the way we like it. It's changed. We want the coffee. So when you come to your product, I'm trying to help you here, I have to make the link. What is he going on about coffee for? You have to think, hang on, you should be only, I wasn't going to do this, you should only sell the. I mean, if you've got any A's in your stores, just bin them. Serious, I'm absolutely serious. What the hell are you doing? So here's more evidence. Have you heard about the cronut? Yeah. Well, since I moved to New York, it's been about 4 years now, and it was a big thing when I arrived, and it still is. And I cycled down there, Dominic Ansell Bakery, and there's this queue, line, as you have to say. There's a line. And people say to me, what's it like, the cronut? I said, what do you think, I'm a bloody idiot? I didn't stand there for 2 hours. And you realise, I've never had one, I can't tell you. And then I looked at the queue. These are all my pictures. I cycled down, took a pic. And I realised neither have they? There's no one in that line, in that queue, that thought, that was a lovely cronut I had yesterday, I must go back for another one. No! So they're waiting for the. They want the. They don't care, they want to tick the box and say, yeah, no, I've had the cronut, yeah, done that. Did that whole cronut thing, I'm ahead of you, I've ticked the box. There's no way they just wanted, I'm a bit peckish. Something sweet. What about a cronut? There's only a 6-hour wait. It doesn't happen. So anyway, the reason for telling you the story is there's a chain of bakeries called Crumbs throughout the US, several branches in New York. This is when I arrived, and I saw this poster, and I extrapolated from the poster. They'd obviously thought, bloody hell, in an American accent, bloody hell. Well, I don't know what that accent is. How do we get some of that action? That cronut, look at the line. Look at this every day. We could, yes, Bob, what's your idea? Well, I think we could copy it exactly, only in an American accent, and I think we should copy it almost identically and come up with another name. We're like, what? We can't use cronut. What about crumb nut? We're called crumbs. Promote that man. You're going to get a big rise this year, Bob, Fred, whatever your name is. It's a genius idea. So they launched the whole thing. They put posters up all around New York. Uh-oh, Willie's leaving and stuff. I've said something bad. They put posters up all around New York, and no one came, did they? No one came, because they want the. They don't want some copy. And the great news about this is that they went bust after a few weeks. And I always love it when a retailer goes bust. You have to laugh, don't you? Sorry. How I laughed. No, but it's kind of lovely. You just can't copy. You have to sell the. Let me test you. If I said, this is the best burger in Nottingham, you just know I'm lying. How do you know that? How do you know I'm lying? Best burger in Nottingham. Except it's not a Nottingham phone number, you can check. It's because they do pizzas and kebabs and bloody fried chicken and probably do a Sunday lunch if you asked. They can't be a good burger then, can they? You have to be niche. You have to be you have to be an expert. What about these guys I saw? Watches and body oil. I have to read it out to you. So, do you know what? I need to get my Rolex fixed. And these guys seem to be sort of quite, they seem to do a good, they've got a spread of offer. That's good. And they're not just narrow. It's just nonsense. We only trust experts now. We are Pam. This is the post-apocalyptic mode. We're in the post-apocalyptic era, and that's what everything's changed. So we're seeing the rise of niche brands. Niche. I say this, niche, because it's so important. You can't be a generalist. So we have the rise of stores like Meatball Shop. Guess what they do? Yes, exactly. And they have to be good, don't they? They could do pizza as well, but it would make the meatballs shit, wouldn't it? That is the truth of it. You have to be an expert. So we're seeing that, and I just move away from food. Hunter Wellies. You've been to the store in London. It's fantastic, isn't it? I mean, it's like one of the best stores in London right now sells Wellington boots on Regent Street. 3 floors of super posh flagship right next to Burberry selling rubber boots. And it works. And I went in there just to photograph it, came out with 2 pairs. I mean, I did. It's just brilliant. It's proper retail. And there's one in Tokyo now. This is retail. You have to be an expert. And you want to tick that, but I want those wellies. I don't want to go home without them. So that's why you're seeing the death of the department stores. I'm sorry, that's why Macy's are closing 100 stores, because you can't be a generalist selling lots of other people's stuff and wonder why you're losing money. It's not any good. So the world's changed is another example. This is a store in Brooklyn. Lots of these trends come from New York, but more importantly from Brooklyn, Pamland. This is where it all happens. And this is a store that opened a few weeks ago. It just does hot sauce. That's all they do. Hot sauce, heatonist. This one I thought I have to show you. It's obviously making a fortune. Just does pencils. It's just pencil specialist. And they have books on how to sharpen pencils. There is actually a story about that. There is an artist who does it, and he will sharpen your pencil for you and send you the bits wrapped up. And whatever, okay, whatever. But you have to be, and there's even news just in, pencil news just in this week. I mean, it's funny, but they're a specialist, and there's loads of people who use it. It's kind of amazing. And then the new Dyson store, have you guys seen that? Not like you're going to answer me, I know, but whatever, it gives me a chance to swig my water. But the Dyson store's an amazing bit of retail. So Dyson's done a store, it's all about and downstairs is sort of display like a natural history museum, really. It doesn't look like you can buy stuff, you can, but it's just stuff on display. Very, iconic displays, 1 or 2 things. Go upstairs, I was there a few weeks ago, it was all about that hairdryer. Have you seen that hairdryer he's done? It's like, yeah, girls have, haven't they? But it's just a sort of, do you know what I'm talking about? So the motor's in the handle and it's a tunnel. The hairdryer is just a tunnel like those fan things. And you go upstairs and there's just like a display. It's a natural history museum, science museum display that takes you through how they created it, what they did, how they tested it. And I came out thinking, I really want one of them. And they're 300 quid. 330 quid for a hairdryer, he said in a high-pitched voice to lose all sense of authority. But it's funny, isn't it? But you've got to laugh, and yet you come out wanting one. Because it's isn't it? It's the hairdryer. There's no question about it right now. Here, I wanted to tell you about, Shinola, you must do, don't you? Do you? Who's answering me? I don't know, I'm just talking to seats. Shinola's this is a perfect post-apocalypse brand. Because they get that you have to sell the. So the story behind Shinola as I call it, I could tell you the whole story, and I can't because I've only got 6 hours. But it's a shoe polish brand that they bought from the 40s. It used to be there used to be a saying in the war was, you don't know shit from Shinola. And it was just a boot polish. They bought that brand. Who bought the brand? The guys who made all the money from Fossil watches. So Fossil watches, had a cool brand, realized it wasn't enough. We have to be post-apocalypse now. And they create this black brand, which is all about sort of authenticity, provenance, where it's made. It's all made in Detroit. It's all lovely. And everything about it is every cheap watch you get there. I mean, they're only, they're not automatic watches. Each comes in a box. It's numbered. It has a card with it, numbered. It tells you who made it, who assembled it, pretty much. I'm being cynical, but this is it. They get it. They know that you've got to sell You can't just sell watches. So, the world's moved on. Am I making any sense at all? Thank you. Thank you so much. Right, I just wanted to squeeze this in because I've only got, like I say, 2.5 hours. choice paradox, and it's really interesting because John touched on it, and I thought that's good because it's funny how we don't have any structure to these presentations at all, but it all fits. It's a lovely thing. Anyway, the choice paradox, very quickly, I'm joking, Lucy. It's all genius at work. It's lovely though when it all comes together and we're all singing from the same hymn sheet. So very quickly, this is a food trends talk I gave. I was giving a food trends talk in Hamburg. And I spent 3 days wandering around Hamburg and found nothing. It's all done. Hamburg's finished. It's done. It's all uplit and gorgeous, and there's nothing interesting there at all. That's a really racist thing to say, but it's true. Okay. And I was a bit bored. And then after I did this big trend talk thing, 3,000 people, it was a big one, and they're all being translated and God knows what. And I talk on all these things, food trends, one of which is this thing about you don't want a big menu now, do you? You do not want to sit in the chair in a restaurant and the guy come out, yes sir, we have pork tonight, we have this huge thing, oh very good, yeah. No, you're the expert, you tell me. That's what you want now. And even last night we were like that. He said, oh yeah, no, I'll have the same as you. That's how we shift now. You're the expert, you tell me. So I'm telling the audience this, and I come off the stage, and this guy, I didn't know who he was, comes up to me and says, Howard, he's got this German accent, Howard, they speak like that. I'd like you to come to my restaurant tonight. I thought he was trying to pick me up. So I said yes, obviously. And then he came on stage, and I realized his name's Tim Meltzer. And Tim Meltzer, who I'd never heard of, is Germany's Jamie Oliver. I mean, they're friends. They hang out together. He's richer than Jamie. Well, if that's not possible, actually. But he's damn rich. Germany's a big country, okay? He has all the TV shows, all the accessories. Anyway, so he said, come to my restaurant. I'll try and be quick. And he takes me down to these restaurants. The Bullerei, which is the coolest place in Hamburg. So all the stuff I saw in Hamburg meant nothing. And then I get there, and there's the brewery. It's all Pam stuff. There's the brewery and the cheesemaker and the... He's doing all that stuff in these disused warehouses, and it's super cool. And we sit and have dinner, and at the end he says, I want to take, he's still got that voice. He's like, I'd like to take you to my club. I said, well, he definitely wants to sleep with me now. But okay. So we get in his matte black Range Rover, OBS, and we drive through Hamburg, all the lovely uplit, all finished, nothing. And we get to this club thing, and it's like a restaurant club, and we go in, and he said, I thought you'd like to see, still got the voice, I thought you'd like to see my menu. And the menu, I have this pride of place in my apartment, I genuinely do. The menu is blank, and it just says, fuck off. You get what you're given. Because he's a top chef, for fuck's sake. No, actually, could I have my prawns? Could you do them without the thing? Could you put it in a thing with a bit on the side? Shut up. This is the top guy. So it's a blank sheet, black both sides. And I think it's beautiful, isn't it? Don't you think it's lovely? And the fact that, you can get away with saying that in German, but not necessarily. I'm not suggesting my brother's restaurant does this. Whatever. Next question, guys. Moving swiftly. Oh, my God. Do you think you're special? Do you? You probably do. You probably do think you're a little bit more special than you did before. Because it's the me age, isn't it? This is the high queen priestess of the me age. That's what we do now, isn't it? It's like, oh, look at me, look at what I'm doing. It's all about us. We now feel we're at the center of the universe. And it all relates back to what John was saying this morning. Smart retailers have to react to that. So it's not just telling you stuff, it's actually directly, see how much I'm trying to help you. You can't see it, can you? No. Anyway, that's what these sessions are all about. That's why CMJ do these sessions, because we can hopefully try and nudge your business forward a little bit. Look at what the clever, rich retailers are doing. They are putting together, they do these billboard things with catwalk show. What's it called? Where ordinary, fat, ugly people are allowed. I think that's a good thing. I'm in for the diversity's good. Don't you laugh at things like that's wrong. I think that's good. And so ordinary, ugly people go, and they go out on Times Square on a huge billboard. It's brilliant because they know that you're the center of the universe now. Clever brands are reacting. Burberry did it with the perfume. You do the bespoke perfume. You have your own name. It's my name. You can have your name put on you. Oh, you can have my name on it. It's and that's just my name. And then they put it up on Piccadilly Circus. Oh, that's me. I exist. Look. I mean, it's funny, but that's what we're doing. And the futurometer, okay, just while we're on customization, bespoke, I'll probably talk about that later, I think. I don't know. You know, do you think there's going to be more of it or less of it? You know, come on, it's obvious, isn't it? Nutella. I mean, if you stopped someone in the street with a focus group or something, you said, have you ever thought about sort of having a name on a jar of Nutella? I mean, you would literally go, wouldn't you? It's a fucking fruitcake. It's a nutter, just asked me about Nutella. I mean, that's what you would think. And yet, it's been a huge success. It's been a massive success. Hundreds and thousands of jars with people's names on them are being shipped out. So, bespoke, customization, I'm afraid it is the future. I don't see it as yes, there's a blip of a trend. We could talk about this in depth, but there's a blip of a trend when we get overexcited about it. But in the future, do you honestly think we're going to go, no, I'll just have the ordinary one, please, without anything? No, just leave it as it is. No. So you've got to get your heads around the fact that everyone wants to fiddle a little bit, okay? So Anya Hindmarch do a brilliant, I know you know them. Do you know them? Yeah, of course you do. But in New York, this is their new Madison Avenue thing. It's all about the workshop. You can take in your grandfather's wallet that you just stole, and you can take it in, and they will copy it, because it's all worn and broken now, and they'll make it out of cheap leather and change the pocket size and things so it fits your bus pass and whatever it is, and then you test it for a month. I mean, all they're doing is making your wallet. But the thing is, you say, take my old grandfather. It's all about love, isn't it? They're going to bring him back to life. It's like, it's kind of lovely, isn't it? So you take it in, and then you test the new one, this little bit, and then you say, can you make it a bit wider, my Oyster card? And they do all that, and for, $500 or whatever it is, you get the new, reborn grandfather's wallet. So you guys have got to think about that. Bespoke customization on the rise massively. Another great example, Nixon watches. I'm assuming you guys know all these things. Teach my grandma to suck eggs again. But Nixon watches are kind of clever. They get it. They post-apocalypse brand. And they've got to give you customization. But they're not offering you full customization. They're putting a kit together. And you can see, you can change the back and you can change the strap. And you can have your little name written on it so you know it's you. All of that. They'll do all of that. And then you feel you've got something that's unique to you. And that's a very powerful retail proposition at the moment. And I thought talk about funny little names. The new Ray-Ban store in New York, which is fantastic. I mean, it's like 3 times the size of this room with a basement. They've dug out a basement, because I remember the old store. They've dug out this huge 2-tier space. It's incredible. And what are they selling? They're selling like 6 pairs of glasses. The tiniest things, you could sell them on a pasting table this big, couldn't you? You go, yeah, no, we've got all 6. But they got like 15,000 square feet, and there's stuff that whatever. And one of the things they do is they put your little name on the thing, on the ear, whatever you call it. You know what I'm talking about, the ear bit, and on the whatever it is, the glasses case. Sorry, my brain's gone down. But it's kind of sweet, isn't it? But you do feel, yeah. Ooh, what for an extra $20? Ooh, okay, my name. But it works. My point on this, because I try and make it, obviously it's on the increase. It's not going to go back. We're not going to go, oh yeah, we'll have the ordinary one again. But it's a very interesting shift, I think. And I think it's a nuanced thing, because the truth is, what we want to do is we want to take that BMW, or any classic iconic car, and we want to make it a little bit us. So we want to say, can you change the seat colour? And yeah, sure, we can do the seat. And the wheels, could I have them a little bit? Yeah, sure, we can do all that for you. It's just going to cost you. Lovely, we love customers like you. We just want to twist it a little bit. What we don't want to do is design the whole damn thing. And there are brands I could talk to you about, brands out there where you can pretty much design the whole thing and they're not working. Because you need to take the and make it for me. There you go. I've never said that before. It's good, isn't it? So that's the thing. You have to take the iconic thing and then twist it a little bit to make it mine. So that you should think about that for all your products. So no A's, bespoke, customization. Difficult question for you in the front row. You have to ask this. You have to ask yourself now, we're in a new age, are you a bit boring? that's the truth, isn't it? That is a really tricky question to ask. But is it just like, yeah, no, we just got a store? And it's nice, clean and everything. Oh, good. Is it just a bit boring? And I think we've entered a new age, and I call it the talkies age, because it's a bit like with the movies. And do you remember Charlie Chaplin was the richest, most famous, most successful, iconic actor on the planet. And then talkies came along and he thought, it's not really for me. It's more artistic not to have all of that noise going on, all that dialogue. And he stuck with the silent movies and he disappeared almost overnight. There's a lesson there. And I think it's very similar. We're at that age now. We're at that point in era now, where actually we need to know that we need to know that we can connect and communicate. It's all the stuff that John was talking about. We're desperate to connect. We're desperate to reach out. I do a little survey as I cycle around New York on my city bike. I don't know why I have to do this, but and I look down, every car that's stationary at the traffic lights is looking at the phone. Because they want to take that little lost second and make it theirs, don't they? That's what we're all doing. We're desperate to connect. So, is it me? Do I exist? And you even like it if it's a client hassling you. Oh, yeah, someone wants me in the universe. That's what we do. We're reaching out desperately. This I saw in just someone offering free conversations. We are desperate. So your store has to talk to us, surely. Stores are dead, I say. Stores are dead. Stores store things. It's like that's what the problem with Gap is. You go in, it's a store, isn't it? There's lots of nice stuff stored. There's no stories about why they designed it, who designed it, where it was from, where it was made, how it has got here, why they even made it in the first place. It's just stuff, and we've got enough stuff. The cupboards are full of stuff. So I'm getting angry now. So you've got to sell us the product, and you've got to tell us something about it, surely. And one silly example, but as soon as I start reading that this is Roosevelt's whatever, Tiffany, I kind of want one. Immediately, a bit like the hairdryer. You just needed to know. You needed to have some information. And I would say this, be very careful about not having any. They're just earrings, it's just all, don't worry. No, there's something to be said there, surely. They're designed by the range that came in last year, I don't know, there must be something to say, otherwise you may as well just sell fruit and veg. And even there's a story in that. So anyway, and if you don't communicate, you don't reach out and connect, because we're all desperate to connect, then you leave a vacuum. And big brands have been slow at this as well. And the vacuum's filled by funny little chavs like this. Are you allowed to say chav? It's very bigoted to say chav. Anyway, so yeah, funny, I think she came from reality TV or whatever. You probably know better than I do. And she's got 5.2 million followers. You imagine you had that on your page. That's incredible. That's because she's telling us stuff. She's just a young, stupid kid. That's the truth. But she's saying, yeah, no, I don't like that. I like that. You should do this. You should try it with this. You should try this. 5.2 million because of the vacuum that retailers left, not telling us anything. And just put us at the center of the universe. Yes, you can't do big hoardings in Times Square, I get that. But this store, I came across in San Francisco, has a corner of the store where they photograph customers, people wearing the stuff. And now those photos get uploaded on the net and all the rest. So it's on their website, real people, no models. It's kind of easy. It took that much of a store, a couple of lights, and suddenly it's interactive. I thought that's smart. And maybe there's opportunities there. You should think, how can you put your customer center stage, bring them right to the front? Next question. I did the watch. Do you want a knife? How are we doing for time, by the way? No, we're okay. We're good. I'll answer the questions.
17 minutes, yeah.
Oh, so much to tell you. Do you want a knife? Do you want a knife? There's lovely knives. Honestly, I've got loads. I've got a really, really sharp one. I've got some that aren't quite so sharp. I've got long ones. It's kind of weird. No, and that's how retailers tend to sell knives. Big retailers, you want art knives? Yeah. If you go up past the wellies, just next to the cheese, we got bloody loads of knives. You You know, that's not what we want, is it? We've got knives. Everyone's got one. We just put one down at lunch. So let me introduce you to a brand that I discovered when I arrived in New York, called, just as an illustration, cutbrooklyn.com. I've sold more of his knives, I reckon, doing these talks. It's true. It's true. So you go onto the website, I hear about him through the grapevine, you go to the website, and you meet Joel Bukiewicz. Of course you do. And he's a big burly bear of a guy, and he tells you, and you can click, and you can read his story, but you can watch the video, and he tells you his story, and he tells you how he was a writer, and he majored in English, and he wrote his first novel, and he couldn't get it published, and you know, tried for years, and kind of thought, I've got to find something else. And a friend of his lent him a machine that, whatever, a thing that could make a knife, and he did it for a hobby, and he did a good job of it, and thought he'd give it to a friend. The friend said, this is awesome, man, this is awesome. He said, you should do it for my restaurant thing, and whatever. And then he started doing them for local restaurants, and he's turned it into a business. And so now he sells globally, all over the world. This little guy in a workshop sells these knives. And he goes, if you go to his blog, his website, it says, you know, it's all very personal. This is all clues in here. All this stuff I'm telling you has got clues in it. It doesn't say, yes, we produce the best knives in the world, in the universe, very, very sharp. No, because that's just not real, is it? It's just fake. He says, it was raining on Wednesday and I had to see my mum to take her to hospital, so I only did 4 knives this week. And I did a 12-inch ebony, with a stainless steel blade. I did a carbon blade 6-inch thingy with stainless steel pins made by the girl down. Thank you again for making the pins. All this stuff. You just get sucked into his little world. And they're all like $650 a piece. Now, do you want a knife? And I know I did. And I do. And of course, you just have to sell us the love, don't you? Surely. That's what you want. No one needs a knife. But now that knife, he sent it, when I got it, it comes with a letter. Dear Howard, make sure you look after this. I made it out of such and such with walnut. This is the stuff you want to keep the walnut handle moist. Sharp, just wipe it lightly every time you use it. Wrap it. And I follow him faithfully. I do everything. My girlfriend comes home, I'll come the notes. I know we're going over time, whatever. And it's like, yeah, I did what you said, Joel. I did. I love you, Joel. It's true, though. For God's sake, can't you see that? It's brilliant. Do you give us time? This is the other one. This weird thing where, and this is what's so good about John's thing on sort of hospitality, really. You've got to fall in love with the brand, surely. That's the whole point. And we've got this weird thing that's come into our heads, and I blame the supermarkets, where you've got to just be really efficient. Yes, we're really efficient. We get customers in and we can turn them around in 0.3 seconds. I mean, it's just wrong. It's absolutely wrong. It couldn't be more wrong. What I call it's Einstein time. You have to make time relative. So we're in a hurry for things that we don't like doing, like shopping in the supermarket. We want to get out as quick as possible. But for the things we like, we'll hang around and drink coffee, slow time down, and fall in love and do all that stuff. Here's the evidence. One of the smartest brands on the planet, one of the richest brands on the planet, you can learn from this even though you've got no money. It's true. Samsung opened this ginormous flagship in the meatpacking district about 6, 7, 8, 9 months ago, this year. And huge, a bit of architecture, it's a twisted top to it. And you go in, and it's a venue. It's a venue. The first thing it does, it takes your picture, puts it up on screen. It's enormous, 3-story screen, and it's my selfie, talk about selfies, is made up of everyone else's selfie. That's a pixelated, it's a genius piece of software. You walk around, there's VR, virtual reality stuff to try. There's obviously a coffee bar. Is it a coffee? No, it's the coffee, the coolest coffee, stand coffee, and when there's a cooler one, it will be replaced. You can't just sell coffee. Yeah, we got a coffee bar, just help yourself in that jug. No! So, and guess what? Best of all, you can't buy anything here. You can't buy, this is just about getting you to fall in love with Samsung, and it's worked. Because I was an Apple guy, and you suddenly think, gee, this is cooler than Apple. This is just hanging out in their space. There's venues, they do music events, they do stuff the whole time. More evidence, moving very swiftly. Muji, big flagship right on 5th Avenue. What's the first thing you see? Chill out zone. Tom's, the famous Tom's shoes and sunglasses in LA. This isn't new, but I just went there recently, and I just thought, genius. It's a shoe shop. This is a shoe shop. And there's a sort of tent outside. They've got nice weather, haven't they? They can do stuff like that. And they're the shoes, but the place is actually, it's a chill out zone. They've got Tom's Coffee, Tom's Roasting Company, and you sit in the garden and you hang out. It's super cool. It's got to slow time down, and you can do all this. You guys can do it. So I say we're not, any consultant, any idiot like me gets up on stage and says we're time poor, it's just not true. And I can prove it over and over again. We're just time precious. We want to rush the things that we hate, and then we'll sit there and look at Facebook for hours on end. So stores are dead, clubs are in. You have to make your store like a club. Think of it like a club. That means you've got to connect with your customers, and you've got to do stuff. Maybe do things in the evening, shock horror. Stop pulling down the corrugated iron at the front and locking up at 5:05. You know, you've got to actually do stuff. You've got to integrate. Anyway, enough ranting. Other ways of doing clubs, this is on the rise, this bento box thing. We did one the other week. I say we did it. It's female stuff, but I get my girlfriend to try these things. So one was Stitch Fix. This is MM Le Fleur. This one includes jewellery. So you sign up, you tell them what you like, what you want stuff for. Oh, I need clothes for work, but I want to pay mid-market prices to above, and I'm looking for iconic little pieces of contemporary jewellery. And they send you a box, and you return what you don't like. No questions, no obligation, nothing. That is a future you have to accept that's coming our way pretty quickly. We're good for time because this is our last section. Aren't we?
10.
Oh, 10, it's good.
You can take questions.
No. No one ever knows what to ask. I mean, it's just horrible to put you through that. So I think, I'm just thinking about you, trying to solve your problems. I think I came up with this, like, David and Goliath. It's kind of a David and Goliath issue. And the question to you goes, are you a David, or are you just a sort of little Goliath? Are you a wannabe big guy? So, if this is the big guy, I'm not picking on one brand, doesn't matter. Are they really the threat? Are they really? It's like, oh, come on. You've got to do all the David things that these guys can't do. And these guys can't do it. So these guys are brilliant at doing campaigns. They've got money, they've got data, they can tell you what you bought where, they can tell you exactly how to lay it out in store. It's genius. They're a machine for selling, but they haven't got any love. They can't reach and connect. And you guys can. This is why it all fits to what John was saying this morning before lunch. So you have to maximize all the David things. Okay, so look at the technology. You read about this every day. This is the future is scary stuff. So in that Ray-Ban store that I told you with the 6 pairs in the 16,000 square feet, there's a virtual mirror with it. It's shit, isn't it? I mean, you could put the damn things on. But no, it's like a wobbly pair going like this on your face. I mean, it's shit technology. I'm sorry, I'm all for shit now. It's shit technology. I mean, it's nonsense. So don't be scared of all that. Then this one, I came through LaGuardia Airport a few weeks ago, and I just thought this was genius. There's a bar, and they've got real ale. That's really good. So there's the whole craft ale revolution, the artisan thing. And oh, look, there's a bar with proper beer in it. And I approached the bar, and there's like 17 taps, and the girls walking past taps behind like that. And I said, oh, can I have an IPA? And she said, you have to order on the iPad, in an American accent. She said, you have to order on the iPad. What? Yeah, but I just want an IPA. She said, no, you have to do, oh. So, find the beer, do the thing, and pay, and then she brings a damn thing. I said, do you like this system? She rolled her eyes. I mean, it's nonsense. They've seen technology, and they've stripped the humanity from it. I mean, it's kind of couldn't be more wrong. So, what is it that trumps all of that? I had to get Trump in. You can't, it's impossible to do a presentation without Trump in. What one thing trumps all of that technology, all that nonsense, all those videos on, viral videos? Well, it's humanity, isn't it? I've said it. It's about connecting. It's hospitality. It's being authentic. It's being integrated to the local community. And it's about being proud of where you are and what you do. And localism's on the rise. Here's the evidence. I've got to move forward. Who do you think McDonald's biggest threat is? I know this because they visited me. The CMO of McDonald's Global visited me, I don't know, 6 months ago. And what did she want to see? Do you think she's interested in Burger King? No. No, these are the ones that worry her. The little farm-to-table, farm-to-counter, they call it, brands doing, Chipotle-style salads you build as you go. These are the guys eating their margins. These are the guys eating into what they do. What scares Starbucks? You think, it's Costa? Is it? No. What scares Starbucks are the little artisan guys that en masse we're turning to. The little guys who can actually react to what you want, who remember your bleeding face without facial recognition software, and who can roast the beans out the back as well as, who can grind the beans as well as roast them. So this is the truth. What worries Cadbury's? Do you think they're worried about Nestle doing all that? No. They're worried about artisan chocolate on the rise. That's what they're worried about. And this is another one from Brooklyn. They've now opened one in Shoreditch in London. Guys, you can see them making it. There's the beans. You can see it. It's real. It's authentic. It's the future of retail, I'm afraid. So you have to be localism. And I just one little example. Urban Outfitters, big global brand. What did they do when they landed in Brooklyn? Well, you can't just land with your big fascias. It just would not be acceptable. So what they did is they created a new concept called Space 98, at the front of which local-made produce, local-made products, little local jewelry designers, guys that make creams and stuff and fashion at the entrance. So there's not much, just a sprinkling right at the entrance, and then into the rest Urban Outfitters. But it changes the whole tone. And what do they put on the roof? A restaurant. This is the graph. This is the truth. Those big brands, whether it's burgers, beer, or whatever it is, are in decline. They're worried, okay? They're worried because we're all wanting the, not a. And the little brands are hardly selling any. They're not, the beer brands, they can't compete. The tiny IPA companies with the huge Stella Artois and Heinekens. Of course not. The sales are billions more. But this is hyperbolic. This one's growing, burgeoning. This one's in decline as we switch to the. So, my final thrust this afternoon is to say, well, come on then, just be David. What can you do? And I've just tried to suggest a few things. You know more than I do, and you're probably doing half of them. But here's some thoughts, okay? Do you sell any local products at all? Have you got any little local designers and jewellery makers that you use at all? Because you only need to sprinkle it in, you see. I'm not saying, I've got some. No, you just sprinkle that in the right areas so you look like you're a locally focused, integrated brand. Do you tell people in store what stuff sells well locally? These are my local, favourites, the ones that go well. Do you do evening events? I know it's tricky, and you think, well, we did one once, didn't we? 2006, didn't go very well. I'm afraid it's the future. You've got to. I could talk for hours about this, but, all department stores are dying. Selfridges isn't. Selfridges is an event space. That's why. Samsung is an event space. You have to do stuff. You have to invite dignitaries and ordinary scruffy fat people. I've told you that already. Even more offensively. So, and do you have anything in there that tells you what they're thinking? Customers recommended. Could you do links on a website? I don't know. Do you have links with all the other stuff? The repairers and the insurers and the watchmakers and the engravers and all that. Maybe you do all that in-house, but maybe there's other stuff you could link to so you look like a community, because this is what we want, guys. It's shifted. This is what we want now. We don't want all that plastic crap from China. We want the real thing. And you can do it. You guys are best positioned for it. Do you do what I've made it up, you've probably got a proper term for it, vintage rejuvenation? I take in my granddad's wallet, take in my grandma's necklace, and you make it contemporary. Those sort of things build the love and build the connection. And jewellery cases, watch cases, is there anything in your stores at all where you've got this local joiner who makes a watch? Every man wants a watch case. Of course he does. Where do you do that? A proper one, not a Chinese crap one, a proper one that's made locally, and you tell the story. How beautiful that would be if you sprinkle it in your stores. So that's my thrust for today, and I'm going to leave you one slide. Because this happened like a few weeks ago. My girlfriend Rachel rang me up. She said, I've just had a present. I said, what? She said, I thought it was you. You wouldn't send me anything, so I know it was that. So she said, but look. And she held this thing up on Skype. And Ralph Lauren had sent her a plant. And this little plant says, you can read the card. Well, dear Rachel, we love you very much. Look forward to seeing you again. Handwritten. No face recognition software. Maybe it came from a database, whatever. It meant something. And what's that cost them? $30. And she is itching, I can tell you now, to go back and spend $3,000. I promise you it's true. So that's the future of retail. Thank you for listening.